Do y'all remember that trend? It might have been from 2023 or late 20 late 2023, maybe early 24, where they would ask women, would you rather be in the forest with a man or a bear? Do y'all remember that? Um, I'm going somewhere. So I asked the poll question, do you remember that trend? I don't know if it's a trend, a meme, whatever you want to call it. I don't know.
I think it originally got posed to women. Would you rather?
Oh, sorry about that. It's already messed it up. So let me bring in. First of all, this is Josh Johnson. He's a comedian. We love him over here at Dear World Christian, and he's going to kind of reacclimate us to this whole bear conversation because I want to bring it up because I think that there's a first of all I think it's an ignorant argument, but there actually is real world problematic consequences that come from this type of ideology, this gender war type of ideology. Let me bring it in real quick. Let's go.
I think it originally got posed to women. Would you rather be alone in the woods with a random bear or a random man? Right. And I think people were astonished at how many women picked bear because it was a lot. I've actually seen very few videos that weren't bear. Which is shocking. It's like, I don't know. It took me aback. And a lot of dudes on the internet got very upset. They got so angry that they were like, why would you pick a bear? Why wouldn't you be, what, are you out of your mind? Are you stupid? Why wouldn't you want to be left alone with a random man, you stupid bitch?
Whoa, I didn't see that part coming.
I don't understand what I'm doing right now. I think it originally got posed to women. Would you?
So that was I didn't know he was going to use profanity. Dang, Josh, man, you messed it up. All right. So everybody's seen this. This has been hopefully you remember it with that meme. Now it was funny, I guess, in one way, but then there's another way that it was extremely problematic. And I'm going to show you why I think these type of innocuous, they don't seem like they're problematic until they actually play out in real world. Because what is that saying? What is that? Would you rather be in the forest with a random guy or a bear? And the women say the bear. Well, everybody knows a bear is an untamed carnivore that's probably going to eat you, kill you, whatever, right? Maul you. And they're saying that a man is worse than a bear, is what they're saying. I'd rather risk my chances with a bear that's going to more likely kill me than a man. That's craziness. Now, as I say that, you're like, hey, hold on, wait. That's not what they're doing. I'm gonna bring a video in and I'm gonna show you this is what happens when you play that out to its full logical conclusion. Okay. Give you a little feedback. Oh, sorry. Give you a little feedback. In Ohio, there was a young man and his family, a black man married to a woman. They had like 2 or 3, maybe 4 kids. He's a real estate developer. He bought a home in the community that he had been real estate developing. Continue. He shares footage from his Ring camera of being profiled by his neighbor at the home that he built in his affluent neighborhood. He built a home in his own community and his neighbor profiled him. Now, of course, we're going to see this Ring camera footage right here. The man, I don't, now a lot of people they jumped immediately to the most egregious. The woman is white, the man is black. And I believe that that's part of it for real. I do believe that. Very egregious, very egregious. However, the man is extremely light skinned. So I don't know if black, because it's very late at night, I don't know if his blackness showed up more than the fact that he's a man. And I'm going to show you when we look at the video of the woman discussing what happened from her angle is quick to see and you're very quick to notice she has a problem with men. She would rather be in the forest with a bear than a man. Let this play it out and you'll see what I mean. She's at the man's house ringing his doorbell. He is now pulled up in his driveway.
What's going on?
Some reason the woman is out walking late at night with her kids. She has clearly like a 4-year-old and one in the stroller. So let's say he's like maybe like 2. She's out walking him this late at night and she sees a black man in a truck or man in a truck, pulls up in the driveway and she runs up to the door to ask if the man lives there. The craziest story. But watch this.
Do you live here?
Yeah.
You do? Papa. I don't believe that.
Okay, knows what she said. I don't believe that. So apparently her understanding and her belief that somebody lives here is the arbiter of truth. Remember what she said. I don't believe that because when she does her apology video, it somehow or another morphs into she said something else. But let us continue. But again, she would rather be with a bear. Watch this.
I don't believe that. Rory, come on. Rory, come on.
So she takes off running, leaves a stroller. Watch this.
Did someone come here?
That was my wife. Somebody chased her up here. And she had the kids.
Who chased her?
She said somebody in a
There was a
silver
guy
truck.
in a gray truck, and he came
So
around the corner,
I don't
and
know if you guys have a
I was
reading.
in the street, and so I come up, and I just have my kids, and so I'm like gonna pretend that I'm coming home, and so I pull up and I start walking to your back gate, and he stops here and he goes, "Are you looking for someone?" And I said, "Nope," and then he sat here, and I was like, "I need to get in."
Well, that's my husband. That's why he lives here. Yeah. He lives here. So he came in and he said there's a lady screaming, and I'm like, that's.
She got all worried that some.
Scared the crap out of me.
How?
I'm so sorry.
How did he scare you though?
I just seen her in the driveway and I was like, are you looking for somebody? Because I was pulling up out
And I
home.
saw someone walking in our driveway too, and I'm like, why is someone walking in our driveway?
Well, I'm sorry.
All right, sorry.
What?
I don't.
She said that someone was following her. So you were walking from there?
You came this way, didn't you?
No, I came down this street right here.
Yeah.
And I was riding slow because I'm looking at our Christmas lights.
Well, you just have to understand my point of view. Being by myself with 2 kids, I just saw a car coming, and so I was like, oh, it scared me, and so I just pulled up here, and I kept thinking, this could be his house. But you didn't say, this is my home. You just said, are you looking? And I was like,
I did. When you was on the porch, you asked me, did I live here? I said, yeah.
And you said, no, you don't.
And you said, I don't think you do.
Obviously, you could tell that I was really caught off guard.
Like, I'm pulling in my, it's like I'm pulling in my house. Like, this is not, this neighborhood is probably one of the best neighborhoods in Ohio. You don't have to worry about stuff like that.
Well, I'm very sorry. I really hope that you're not upset with me.
No, I'm upset.
Go in the house. Let's go.
You told me that I didn't. You said you didn't think I live here.
It was the way that you were talking. I was so caught off guard. I'm so sorry.
All right. So that is the initial video. You can see clearly the woman goes up to the house. She asks the man, "Do you live here? I don't believe that you live here," and then runs around yelling help. And later on, the actual police did come, which is weird. This is super strange. The police came like after the fact, and they didn't come to investigate. They just kind of took the woman's word for it and just left it alone. I'm very surprised. I'm super surprised that that woman did not. I'm sorry that the police did not investigate and make a big issue out of it. And that's frightening because actually, while we were watching this, somebody came and rang my doorbell, and Lady Dearwood Christian is at home, and my kids are home, and she was very upset that somebody came ringing the doorbell. But I want to bring this up. I'm wondering, of course, the low hanging fruit is black versus white. I totally get that. And I do believe there's an element of that. But we're going to bring up her apology video. And I think you'll clearly understand she would rather choose the bear. This is what happens. This is the byproduct. This is the outcropping of this gender war situation. Men are bad. Women must fear men. Women don't need men. Men are horrible, bad people. This is what happens. I really believe that she is bought into it because she has a husband. And now imagine, now we could look, imagine if weapons had got brought into the scenario. This could have gone south so quick. But why? Because the woman is engaged in something she didn't need to be involved in, worrying about whether or not the man lived at the house. But I'm gonna bring in I'm gonna bring in her apology video, and y'all tell me. Wait, did I bring it in? How about I don't have it ready? All right, I'm gonna filibuster while I'm talking. All right, but y'all tell me if you feel like she is genuinely apologetic, or even more genuinely. Do you buy what she's selling? Are you buying what she's selling as relates to her apology for? Oh my gosh, where's the video? Mm-mm-mm. Always something, Jason. Always something. Gotta get that struggle streaming on. Here it is. But wait, where's the video? Here it is, right here. Sorry about that.
He
All right,
says,
got it.
"This is my house." And I said,
Okay,
he
so
said,
remember when we watched the video, remember what she said when she rang the doorbell initially and she asked, "Do you live here?" And such of that nature. Listen to how it morphs in her apology video.
"This is my house." And I said, "I don't think that it is." And
See,
at
I don't
that
believe you.
point,
Remember
the
that.
only reason that I said that was because truly the awkward encounter of slowing up behind me, talking to us multiple times. I'm in this frantic state. It's late at night. I got my kids, my 2 babies. The lady at the door is not answering. There's no other homes that are well established. I mean, there's construction. It's a corner house. I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, I'm on the front porch. This truck literally is halfway up the driveway. And I was like, my radar was like, nope, I don't think that this is your house.
Why are you worried about it though? I'm not trying to be funny. It's an established home. They already got Christmas lights up, so they've already moved in, all that kind of stuff like that. And if I saw somebody on my doorstep while I was pulling in, I too would roll slow because I need to establish what's going on. Is this the only person there? Is there somebody coming up around my bush that's going to grab me when I open up my garage door? I'm going to move slow too. She needs to be extremely happy this didn't happen in Georgia. Because somebody would be in jail and somebody would be pushing up daisies. I'm sorry. Because this wouldn't have happened in Georgia. I'm just going to be honest with you. Not and everybody went home and slept that night. That's in their own house. That wouldn't have happened. Something would have happened. I'm just sorry. This is craziness. But my point is, did she immediately think that this man was a threat because he was a man? Because again, he's a light-skinned man, so you wouldn't immediately think that he was black right from the rip because it's late at night. Okay, he's a lighter-skinned man, but you saw him and immediately jumped to what? He's a man. He's a problem. Just a thought. Let's go.
And so I said, I don't believe that this is your house. And so I'm starting to unbuckle Cash, and I grab and I freak. I go, Rory, run. And so I take off the porch and I literally run as fast as I can, screaming at the top of my lung. I'm getting all these messages. I'm so sorry. Screaming at the top of my lung. I've never, ever, ever screamed the way that I screamed. And I'm running through the front yards of everybody, praying that the Ring doorbell would capture us. Finally, to get to a woman's house, I'm bang on the door. And at this point, I'm dialing 911. And I said, can I please come in? And the woman said, yes, come in. And so I'm staying there. I'm talking to the sheriff. And more than anything, I was not looking for him to come to my rescue at this point. my husband was going to come. I'm in this woman's house. The door is closed. And I told the man, he said, do I need to come out? And I just said, no. I said, I was just calling to let you know that this just happened. My husband's going to come get me. And, he says, he asked me if I wanted him to come out, and I said no. And so the woman then, I was at her house, she literally asked me and said,
That's got to be the most Ohio thing to happen. I'm sorry, Ohioans. I don't mean to insult y'all, but I can't imagine calling 911 and telling and screaming and being all exacerbated. Your kids are probably uh crying and all that kind of stuff. You're in somebody else's house and you're like, oh yeah, you don't have to worry about the police. I just wanted you to know that today was Tuesday. What? They're coming to get they're coming. I cannot imagine. I cannot imagine. I'm sorry. And I'm not of the cancel culture brand, but this woman deserves all the smoke that she got. Her business got eviscerated. Um, uh, all that kind of stuff. She needs. She needed. She deserves it. There's no way. I'm sorry, Ohioans. If your police and sheriff, if you can call 911 and they don't come out, y'all better watch what y'all paying your taxes for. I'm sorry. Let's go.
um, she said, I don't know how to ask this. She goes, but was it a black man? Because she goes, it's a black family that lives there. And I said, no, I believe that this is a white man. He was a white man in a truck. A young white man is what I said. And she said, okay. She goes, because that's a black.
So that's why I'm saying I don't think that I don't think that it was originally a black issue. The guy is definitely light skinned. So I don't think it was black. It's the fact that he's a man. This is the bear versus the man scenario. She thinks a man just because he's a man is a problem. Just because he's alive. Just because he breathes. There's no other reason for her to behave of that nature except the fact that it's a dude. Let's finish up. I rewound it.
And so we get in the car and we go to pick up the stroller. Sure, it
Oh.
wasn't a black guy. He goes, because that's a black family. And I said, no, I don't believe that it was a black man. And so we get in the car and we go to pick up the stroller. And I've said this a million times, I have never felt the fear that I had even just pulling up in front of the house when John opened the door to get out of the truck. The amount of, I've never went into like fight or flight like that before. And so he gets out of the car and he goes up to the woman's house, and a woman comes out onto the front porch and she says something along the lines like, did you forget something or did you leave something? And John laughs and he's like, yes, we did. I'm so sorry. And I get out of the car and I walk up to the woman and I could not tell her fast enough what had happened. She walks out on the porch and I jump out of the car and I said, oh my gosh, yes, there was a man. And John was the one that said a man was following her, chasing her, following her is what I said. I use the word chasing, following me. And, so she said, I jumped out of the car and I said, I'm so sorry. I said, literally, I was pretending that your house was my house. I was walking up the driveway and then I was like turning in. I was pretending that it was yours. And she goes, yeah, that was my husband. And so he ends up coming out and he's like, I told you this was my house. And at that point, I literally I said, I'm so sorry. I said, I am so sorry. And I told him, I said, sorry. I said, I'm so sorry. And then, I said, this is your house. That was my words. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, this is your house. I said, I truly kept thinking like, maybe this is his house. Maybe this is his house. And he says, well, I told you this was your house. And I said, you have to understand. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, it was such an awkward encounter.
Why do you care? Why is it muted? Oh, okay. Why do you care if it's his house? I'm not trying to be funny. You are out walking with your kids late at night. It was really late at night, so I don't know, but that's beside the point. Why do you care that if it's his house or not? Is it possible that you don't know that it's his house or not? This is wild. And it's Christmas time, so people, still drive around looking at Christmas lights. Why is that? This woman deserves, and she's gonna try to play the victim. She's the victim, as you can see. She's a victim of circumstance. A victim because you were driving too slow. She's a victim because you're a man. You're a victim because you're in a truck. Blah blah blah. I'm sorry. And shame on y'all, Ohio. Y'all, this woman needs to be. She needs a consequence for this. This is crazy because if there had been weapons involved, there would be people that are not alive because of her being doing too much. There's no reason to be worrying about somebody's. Do you live here or not? Why are you even asking that question, ma'am?
I said the truck was like starting to slow behind me, and I'm out here with my little girl and my son, and I said I'm a mom, and it was dark, and he said, but I
Victim.
told you that this was my house. He says I was driving slow because I was looking at my Christmas lights, and once again I said I am so sorry, and they truly they did not take my apology.
And rightly so. I'm
And
sorry.
that night, I went home. And so if you guys saw on Instagram, I shared the story twice. The only reason that I shared the story is because I was heartbroken, and it was a
No, the reason you shared the story twice, sorry, the reason you shared the story twice is you needed to get out ahead of this because you knew that they were going to show that ring camera and put it out there in the social media streets. And you're trying to be like, hey, let me be the first one to tell the story. The problem is people like to do their research. So once they saw what actually happened, you got all the smoke and you deserved it. This is egregious. She's putting somebody's life potentially in danger because of this. And you'll see in a second, I'm not making that up. She's putting people's lives in danger. Here we go.
really scary night. I've always shared everything on Instagram. And so that night, after that whole instance happened, I literally was sitting on the steps, first of all, and John kept trying to talk to me. I kept telling him I was so sorry. And I've never, just the panic. I literally could not come down from this like fight or flight. From the time that I was at the woman's house to literally 30 seconds later, telling the woman that I was just followed to the man stepping out on the front porch and it being his house. It was like all of these different emotions. And so I'm sitting at home, literally like having this meltdown. And I kept telling John, I was so sorry. Like I felt really stupid. And, so on the way home, I forgot to say that the cop was driving around our neighborhood, and, I'm getting all these messages. I'm so sorry. The cop was driving around our neighborhood, and I stopped him. We stopped him, and I jumped over, rolled the window down, and I said, I am so sorry. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, it was his house. It was a misunderstanding. I'm so sorry. He was like, it's okay. I'm glad everything's fine. I was like, yes, it's fine. So I ended up, we went home. And that night when I got home, I had tears, and I was making.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The police just took the word over. She's the woman that called you hysterical, running through the streets, yelling, help, 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 help with her kids. And she said, oh, no, my bad. Everything, it was a false alarm. And the police didn't do anything? Maybe y'all don't got any crime in Ohio. Maybe that's it. Or maybe y'all got too much crime and you don't got time to look at. That's craziness. I'm sorry. Watch. It actually gets worse. Here it comes.
Making a cup of coffee, and if you guys know me, I put everything on Instagram. I talk all the time. It was an innocent mistake. I felt
No, it
really
wasn't.
stupid. I absolutely was crushed. I felt like they thought I was stupid. I already felt stupid. I truly felt stupid.
This is a deflection tactic. She's calling herself something. It's calling that people think you're stupid. That's a harsh word like that. No, I think you're evil and vile and that you had nefarious purposes. But calling somebody stupid is kind of like that's what you would call somebody who's ill informed or whatnot. No, she had evil intentions. I'm going to say it. Jason, dearwokesy@gmail.com. She had evil intentions by going up to these people's houses, this house, saying that you don't really live here, you don't belong here. That's crazy work. That's nasty work.
Like I said to them on the porch, like I kept thinking like maybe this is his house. And then like I'm running and screaming at the top of my lungs. And so, yeah, like I felt dumb for sure. So I went on Instagram in my story. I still have it archived, and I like have tears, and I'm making a cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I was like, man, you like talk about a night. I'm like, man, my night just completely took a left turn. And I was like, super scary. I was like, I'll have to fill you guys in later. So I went live that night.
Of
And
course you
then I
did.
went live again the next morning.
Of
And I have
course.
to tell you guys, I have been on social media long enough to know that there's a lot of scrutiny. And so by me going live, I was not, I was very, I did not think that I was doing anything wrong. I was sharing the story of what happened, better safe than sorry, how scary it was.
You rolled up on somebody's house that you don't live. And let me also add, apparently is not close to your house because she didn't run to her house. She ran to somebody else's house. So you're in the neighborhood. Like my neighborhood is not that big, but I could, there's parts of my neighborhood I haven't been on in months, right? I don't go over there. I have no business over there. So if I went over there on one side and a house had been painted, I would be totally surprised. Like, oh, there you go. Uh, I haven't been over it, so I wouldn't be surprised that a house was painted. How is it that you just know? Again, so you are the arbiter of what's are you the HOA president or something? Well, like, how do you think you even are in a position? How dare I go to my neighbor's house and say, "Hey, I don't like the color of the house that you painted." Like that would be akin to that. Like I don't believe that you should have painted it this color. They're gonna be like, "Who are you?" Like, what in the world? Oh, I'm gonna do it at nighttime, right? This has got to be the high watermark of insanity. But we actually are gonna get better. Let's let her go, Jason.
It's just what I went through. Like, that's the only reason that I went live. At the end, I talked about how I felt stupid and how this couple, like twice, I apologized and nothing came of it. And so, yeah, that crushed me. I did feel really stupid. So that is the
They're
story.
not
That happened.
obligated. I'm sorry.
Many of you guys were on those lives, and so you guys know the exact emotions and state that I was in. So we are here. And it wasn't until about 2 weeks ago, maybe a little less than that, that John was sitting in the living room, and he called me the day prior, and he asked me a question about, did you ever say like, he said, did you tell the woman that he was black? And I said, no, I told her that I thought he was a young white man. He's like, I thought so. And I was like, that was really weird that he called and asked me that. So the next morning, I was doing my morning reading, and he sits down in front of me, and he's like, we have to talk. And so he told me that there had been a letter floating around our neighborhood that had been posted in our mailroom that had said something about a racist profiling in the neighborhood. And so, of course,
Okay, let me real quick. Let me just make sure I got this right. Now she's going to claim she's a victim. Now, she could have absolved herself of any of this. I don't think that it was primarily the first step was about race, but that's fine. I think it's because he's a man and she sees men as problematic, but I digress. Watch what happens and then all of a sudden how she again switches and she becomes the victim. Watch this.
you throw racism into the mix, it gets really yucky. And that was the furthest thing from what it was, to the point of literally, we have a handwritten letter from the woman's house that I went to. I'm trying to get the Ring doorbell footage of me standing on the porch telling John when he asked, are you sure it wasn't a black man? And I said, I think it is a young white man. But she wrote a letter. She was like, I'm happy to speak on your behalf. You absolutely told me that you thought it was a white man. And so we had 2 days in a row, the letter was posted in the mailroom saying that there was a racist profiling, not mentioning our name, but it was in reference to that night. It was taken down 2 times. And then I believe there was an email sent to our followed 20 minutes home, and my car was broken into when I was at the store. And when I was a little girl, we had a man banging on our door and helicopters hovering over our home. So did I overreact?
The reason she overreacted is because as a child, her family was violated to some degree, shape, or form. So this woman is probably knocking on 35, 38 years old. And she's talking about a story when she was a child. And that's why, let's say when she was 10. So when she was 10, that's why she's acting like she's behaving now. She's gonna blame this is just trauma dumping of the highest order. Let me get out every excuse I can out of this in here as possible. I'm sorry. She gets nothing from me.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. But I showed up at the door and I said that I was sorry 2 times.
Do you realize that if the police had come and the man had a weapon and something went south, your apologies saying you're sorry wouldn't brought anybody back? Do you realize that that man had, again, here in Georgia, we got to stand your ground. So you would be in the ground here in Georgia. There's a high probability somebody would not have gone home that night because of your actions, Michelle. Do you realize that? So it wouldn't matter that you're apologetic. Oh, I'm sorry, crying and boo hoo hoo and all that kind of stuff like that. Somebody would be in eternity because of what you did. Maybe one of your children, maybe you, maybe that man, maybe all of y'all, Hatfields and McCoys, everybody would have went to sleep because of that. So your tears mean nothing. This is so gross. And again, the tears are trying to get that sympathy, get those sympathy, feel sorry for me. But ma'am, you shouldn't have been on that man's porch. End of day, that's it. There's no other way around it. There's no reason for you to have been on that porch asking somebody, do they live here? No reason.
People are going as far as saying they're not genuine apologies, that I'm out to get them for whatever reason that is. I don't know how it could be twisted that way when I literally thought he was a white man. So I knew it wasn't going to stop there, but the Facebook page stuff was deleted. Not me ever asking for any of it to be deleted. I made a public apology to them through the video to a whole Facebook page of almost 500 residents in our neighborhood. And then I posted in the comments multiple times when people were just saying, like, disgusting and just tearing down our family's name. I once again came on and I said, if there's ever an opportunity to reconcile, like, I will. I'm so sorry I could have ever offended you.
But again, I like the idea of reconciliation. I'm all about reconciliation. But ma'am, you put these people's lives in jeopardy. Somebody asked me earlier, do I want to talk about the Ahmaud Arbery case? And that's a very much akin, like nosy people doing nosy stuff. Now there's somebody dead. That's it. End of the day, finish it up. And you being nosy, worrying about something that don't bother you. Now, if you saw somebody out there with a U-Haul truck carrying TVs and stuff out with masks on, maybe you should call the police. But you going up there and asking somebody if this is their house ain't got nothing to do with you. Nothing. I'm sorry. And this is so gross. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you don't understand the weight and the gravity of what you've done. You're not going to be able to bring your family back up to where you were before you went up to that man's door and rang that doorbell. You're never going to be able to do that. So accept where you are. You might need to move. I'm sorry. This is so dumb. Okay, finish this up, Jason.
And so I've absolutely apologized multiple times. It's not been accepted. So now I woke up today and John starts sending me screenshots of people going on all of my social media channels. And I had to make my pages private. On one of the videos of us talking about opening our store, there were over 360 comments, some of which absolutely were from our members, but I would say over 300 of them within a 10-minute span were from people coming to absolutely attack us, saying anything and everything you can imagine, from hating on my faith, tying that to racism and me not being who I say I am, to my family, to be on a lookout, to our business is destroyed, to you can imagine everything that's being said, to our direct messages, to my friends and members being messaged saying that I'm a racist, going as far as saying that I was trying to have a black man killed. That was commented a few times.
Ma'am, you did. You did. I'm sorry. You might not have set out to do it, but it is very much time, baby. You need to get off social. You need to go ahead and just start a farm and sell chickens. I'm sorry. This is yeah, ma'am. I'm sorry. There's no other way around it. I don't think primarily she set out it for it to be a racial issue, but I'll let y'all have that. Y'all know Dear Woke Christian don't run with racism very much, but I'm gonna let y'all have that one. I think it's more akin to the fact that you saw a man as a problem. You saw there's a dude right there and he's a problem. You said I'd rather choose the bear. Well, baby, you ran for the bear. Here is the bear. The bear is this is what you ran to. You ran to the bear, and now that this is what the bear gives you. That's what you get.
To people texting me personally, calling me a racist pig, our direct messages, our other businesses, Crave is being attacked, and every business platform, my Facebook ratings, everything is being attacked right now. So, everybody keeps asking for a public apology, and I wanted to get ahead of it. I don't want to just stay quiet, but I did shut my pages to private. I've explained to my Instagram exactly what I'm explaining to y'all. I absolutely am so sorry that I didn't think more of how they possibly could have felt in the moment and my reaction.
Tears don't fix bad decisions. If you know what, let's move this into a different realm. Let's say that she was out celebrating whatever, and she had a couple too many drinks, and she got in the car with the same two children, drove down the same road, but she was inebriated, and she slammed into this man, the homeowner, in his truck while he was driving slow, looking at his Christmas lights, and she slammed right into her. Ma'am, it doesn't matter how sorry you are. It doesn't matter how apologetic you are. It doesn't change one thing. One, you are a drunk driver. You will always have that moniker around you. And you murdered that man with your vehicle, vehicular homicide, while driving under the influence. And it doesn't matter if you're apologetic. It doesn't matter if you were trying to celebrate. It doesn't matter if you had your child in the 5-point harness in their car seat. None of those things matter. That man is no longer here. The only thing really that changes is that nobody perished. That's really the only thing that changes. It doesn't change. Like, sorry, if people see your approach to this as being partial or racial, I'm not going to even defend you. And y'all know I don't even rock with the racism around every corner, but this is so egregious that that's exactly what happens. And ma'am, you need to just you chose the bear instead of the man. Because you could have just said, oh, there's a man right there, leave him alone, and kept on walking. And everything would have been fine. But you said, oh no, there's a man over there. Let me go choose the bear. And you chose the bear. And Becky, enjoy.
I'm not trying to play the victim.
But I am.
Very few people have truly said they can't, putting themselves in my shoes, and it does make me angry. It does, if I'm being completely honest, and I'm trying to be so slow to speak. And I have said multiple times.
How were you slow to speak when you jumped on 2 times Instagram live the same night? And it was already 10 o'clock. Oh my gosh, the little reactions 2 times that night. How are you being slow to speak? I'd love to know how that works. I rewound it again. Y'all, come on.
To be deleted. I made a public apology to them through
I'ma
the
stop.
video to a whole Facebook page of almost 500 residents in our neighborhood. And then I posted in the comments multiple times when people were just saying, like, disgusting and just tearing down our family's name. I once again came on and I said, if there's ever an opportunity to reconcile, like, I will. I'm so sorry I could have ever offended you. And so I've absolutely apologized multiple times. It's not been accepted. So now I woke up today and John starts sending me screenshots of people going on all of my social media channels.
They're cooking you.
And
Look, people don't play. Okay. One thing I noticed, and I'm kind of glad I rewound it. Sorry I rewound it, but I'm glad I did. She said, "I would love to reconcile if I offended you." And I think it's fair to say that you offended them, Becky. Why are you not being upfront saying, "Yo, I did wrong, and I did offend you. I did do the wrong thing." Not if I did the wrong thing, if I offended you. No, I did do the wrong thing. Eat that crow, cook it, barbecue it, fricassee, make it sushi. I don't know, but eat that crow and say, "I was wrong. I did the wrong thing." Now, you might want to still defend and say it wasn't racial. That's fine. I don't think you should. You can just say, "Hey, I was wrong." And again, if you see the pictures of the guy, you wouldn't immediately say if it was late at night, you would see him as a black man. I'm sorry. So I'm trying to give her a little bit of grace there because I think the problem is she saw a man as a problem and she chose the bear. And now the bear is chewing on her, is nibbling on her, and she don't like that part. Well, baby, this is what you chose. You chose the bear and enjoy the bear. You know what? I'm gonna take a quick second because I want to bring Tanya up to speed. Tanya, great to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. We are looking at a young man and a young family in Ohio where this woman right here, late at night, was walking in the community and saw the man pulling into the driveway and went to the door to say that to check to see if the man actually lived there. And the man said he lived there. She said she didn't believe it. And then she proceeds to go running through the neighborhood screaming, "Bloody murder, help, help, help," um, and so forth like that. And at the end of the day, thankfully, nobody was deceased. The police came like later, but needless to say, she made all this stir and fuss. And the man was highly melanated. He was a black man. And she, of course, is a white woman. And she is catching all the smoke that you can imagine she's catching. And we're just watching her apology because I think it's, in my opinion, is not because he's black, it's because he's a man. And she sees a man as a problem. Because I don't think she would have cared if it was a woman. I really don't believe if it was a woman driving that truck, she would have even batted an eye. Late at night, early in the morning, midday, it don't matter. If she saw a woman driving the truck, she'd be like, whatever, and kept it going. Why did she have a problem? It's because there's a man driving that truck. She didn't immediately know it was a black man. She immediately knew it was a man, and therein is the problem. That's my 2 cents.
I had to make my pages private on one of the videos of us talking about opening our store. There were over 360 comments, some of which absolutely were from our members, but I would say over 300 of them within a 10-minute span were from people coming to absolutely attack us, saying anything and everything you can imagine, from hating on my faith, tying that to racism and me not being who I say I am, to my family, to be on a lookout, to our business is destroyed, to you can imagine everything that's being said, to our direct messages, to my friends and members being messaged saying that I'm a racist, going as far as saying that I was trying to have a black man killed. That was commented a few times. To people texting me personally, calling me a racist pig. Our direct messages, our other businesses, Crave is being attacked, and every business platform, my Facebook ratings, everything is being attacked right now.
It's almost like there's consequences.
So, everybody keeps asking for a public apology, and I wanted to get ahead of it. I don't want to just stay quiet, but I did shut my pages to private. I've explained to my Instagram exactly what I'm explaining to y'all. I absolutely am so sorry that I didn't think more of how they possibly could have felt in the moment and my reaction. I'm not trying to play the victim.
But I am.
Very few people have truly said they can't, putting themselves in my shoes, and it does make me angry. It does, if I'm being completely honest, and I'm trying to be so slow to speak.
What you talking?
And I have said multiple times how stupid I felt. I even looked at him, like I said, when he came out on the porch. And I said, oh my gosh, this was your house. And I said, I kept thinking to myself, what if this is his house? But pulling up behind me, whether it's to look at your Christmas lights or not, I didn't know that.
It's because he's a man. She chose the bear. And baby, the bear is eating you up. You chose the bear. Enjoy what you got there. The bear is eating you up. She probably has a business Facebook page, and the business Facebook page is getting crushed. That's probably what's the problem.
I knew it was dark. I had my kids.
None
You're
of
talking to me. You're continuing to talk to me. Now you're backing in this driveway. And then I asked if it was his house. And he said, yeah. I didn't believe it at that point. This
whose
was
fault
getting
is that?
so awkward. I just continued to feel like I was getting pursued more and more.
You do know you could have turned and walked away, right? You didn't have to keep going. If you're walking toward the house and the guy pulls into that house, you could just turn about face and walk the other way. And then you would know if the guy got back out or the guy kept following you, then you would know, like, oh, this guy is really following me. But you're walking toward the house, the guy pulls into the driveway of the house, and then you run your happy butt up to the doorbell and ring the ring cam to be what? Queen, do too much? Ma'am, enjoy what you get. There's no sympathy here at DWC. I'll give you the gospel though. You do need Christ because you be doing too much. You're doing the most. You need to be mindful of your own business. And why you out walking with your kids after 9 o'clock at night anyway? It was dark. Get your happy butt at home. But even better than that, how about you leave other people alone? Like, this is gross. You should not be bothering other people. Leave other folk alone.
It had nothing to do with the color of his skin. He could have been purple, orange, whatever. He was a man in a truck pursuing me.
I told you it wouldn't have been. It's a man. Okay, I gotta
The
say
tone
it
of his
again.
voice was
I gotta say it again. Like, it's the fact that he's a dude, and this is the outcropping. This is the outcropping of that rhetoric of the gender war. Man, big screen, big screen. That men versus woman, woman versus man. We don't need no man, and all. This is the rhetoric. This is the outcropping. Ideas have consequences. And thankfully, again, nobody passed away. But I think we all realize, like, this could have gone left if this had been anywhere else. This been a suburb of Chicago, a suburb of New York. Let's be honest. If it's been in my neighborhood, there would have been somebody would have got capped. I'm just telling you. But this is what happens. Mind your own business. Why are you even bothering with this man? So what? He's driving slow. I've driven slow looking at my Christmas lights. I drive slow. Look, my neighbors, look, if this is the case, then we know we're going to get a problem because I drive up and down my neighborhood. I'll go backwards to see something on one side of my house because I don't come on that side of the house often. And I've been looking and I drive slow. I know good and well Barbara would pull out her nine and put me to sleep following this woman's logic. I do it all the time. Ma'am, mind your own business. But guess what? This is it. You chose the bear, and this is what you get. Enjoy the bear.
not welcoming or comforting at all. And so, yes, I panicked. Did I overreact? I don't think so.
You don't think it was wrong. Hold on. Hold up. You don't think it was weird to be running through the neighborhood yelling help? Hold on. Wait. I've watched this, but as I watch it with y'all, things kind of hit me differently. So it's perfectly normal for a whole grown woman, 35, 38 years old, to be running with a 2-year-old with a 4-year-old in tow, yelling help at 10 o'clock at night in your neighborhood. I don't know what neighborhood you live in. I don't even think the hood is like that. Ma'am, go find a seat. Like, I, I don't think that as sure as my name is Jason, I don't think we would be having this conversation if instead of it being a man, his name was Michael, if it had been his wife, Shauna. I don't think we would be having this conversation. The problem is it's a guy, it's a man, and that's not normal behavior. I'm sorry. I live in a house with 3 women. There's a lot of abnormal behavior that goes on in my house. That is not one of them. Okay. Even they would be like, what the heck is wrong with you? You're running through the neighborhood yelling, yo, I'm sorry. And shout out to y'all Ohioans because y'all police don't do nothing. Okay. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop.
So I'll leave this here
She should
for
go to
you
jail.
all to decide what you believe.
Ooh, those tears.
I don't know if the owners will watch this or the people who have decided to come alongside them. I don't think I'm in a position of trying to win hearts anymore. I've made many apologies and they weren't accepted. So I don't think it's about an apology anymore. But I just wanted you all to know that I am a lover of everyone. I really am.
Except
And once again,
men. You love the bear.
I'm sorry for anything that I could have done to not hold your heart.
You love the bear.
What a terrible situation and terrible timing. Like, that's what it all boils down to. Really terrible timing. And now it's just getting really, really ugly. So, I just wanted to make sure that this was put out there publicly.
That I love the bear.
Y'all being very sweet. Thanks.
Sweet, sweet bear love. That's what it is. We love the bear.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
I just sit here and I'm like, man, is there like anything that I could say just to like make people drop it? I just don't think there is. I just think it's just gonna hang there for a minute.
So, like, just real quick though, if the man had expired, yeah, bear love, bear love. If the man had expired, and let's say the same thing happens, like I'm sure every last one of us could say, man, if this happened in this side of town or this happened over in this town, it would be a different situation. If this had happened and that man expired because you or went to jail, let's just you know what, we won't even delete him. Let's just say the man went to jail because of this false claim by you. How should people just let it go? Like the idea and the notion that this could have gone left, I don't think is hyperbole. It's not like you're doing a lap too far. You know, like the climate control people. Oh, if we don't stop, the earth will end in 10 minutes. Like that's just stupid. Shut up. But here, this could really truly have been the case. If the Ohioan police did differently, that man could have probably been to jail. I mean, who knows? What if he had? I mean, there could have been 1,000 things that could have gone wrong, and your ignorant claim could have been the reason, the fulcrum for it, and they're supposed to just get over it. I'm sorry, I don't think. Ma'am, you chose the bear. This segment is called "You Chose the Bear." And you saw a man, he was a problem. You ran to the bear, and now you upset that the bear is munching down on you. He done mauled you. He mawing on you. And ma'am, you chose the bear. I can't do anything for you. You had an option, which was mind your own doggone business in the most polite Southern way possible. Bless your heart, you should have mind your business.
Thank you for giving your time to this, everybody. It's not y'all's issue at all. So,
But you know what? It wasn't your issue either. Becky, it wasn't your issue. I'm sorry. I'm watching this with y'all, and y'all, when I see your names, it makes me think differently. It wasn't your issue. It wasn't. It's not your issue. Now, if you thought it was a real crime being going on, then you call the police. Well, I don't know. In Ohio, they don't seem to be doing nothing. But if you thought it was a real crime and something was really wrong, then you call the police in a normal situation. Why are you Crime Stoppers with your 2 kids? Aren't you a little bit worried? Don't you have something else to do? Aren't you a little bit concerned about the little ones around you? How about you take care of them instead of worrying about whether or not this house is owned by this man or whatever? Worry about yourself. You got your 2 kids. But nope. And so now I'm sorry, I can't find any sympathy here. You did too much.
I love you. If you guys start messaging me and stuff, the reason I'm not responding is we're supposed to be celebrating John's birthday today. So I'm gonna try really hard to stay away from all of this and be present with the kids because
But you're
we've not
on
been
the
very
but you're
present
on the
with them.
social
My
now.
mind has been super tied up.
But you're on the social now.
Okay, that's all. Thanks, everybody,
Oh, you're
and
welcome.
all the things. So I want to jump on here because my Facebook is public, and for those of you guys who are telling me that I owe a public apology, one, I will not apologize for making any sort of racist remark. I am the furthest thing from a racist. I will, however, apologize that my expression could ever come across in such a way, or that somebody could think something of that nature of myself and my family. So long story short, I need to give the context because there's a lot of y'all who are, I'm sure, coming to my page right now.
Okay, that was the end of it. And it was a giant nothing burger. But my point in bringing this up was just to kind of say that, this rhetoric that we've embraced for the last couple of years, um, that there's this animosity between, and it's not germane, it's not everywhere, but you see it in certain little pockets that, this animosity between men and women is super problematic. And again, I thought about that bear versus, would you rather be with a random guy in the woods or a bear? And women saying, "I choose the bear." Well, ma'am, this lady chose the bear, and look at what happened. She chose the bear, and the bear is bearing. 1 second, please. I apologize, y'all. President Firstborn called me, and she's out in these streets, these snow day streets of Georgia. So I want to make sure everything was right. So thank you so much. But back to the point, and I'll get off of this. But the woman chose the bear, and now she's upset that the bear was hungry, and the bear wanted to munch on her, and the bear was going to claw at her and maul her. Well, ma'am, you could have chosen something different. Now, there's nothing you can do now. The bear is already on. You chose the bear, and now you got to live with the bear. But maybe for other people, maybe just tell people, like, mind your own business. Leave people alone. Like, there was no reason to be bothering that man about his house. And like, I don't believe that you live here. That's problematic. That was weird. And now the bear is munching. The bear is fed. The bear is he is not in hibernation. He is chewing up on you because you was doing the most. Queen doing the most. Now, I do want to bring in a context to this as well. And I want to say thank you. Before I do that, thank you so much. Thank you so much. She asked me, Amethyst Angels, blessing the team. She says, how quickly they forget that Trump dedicated money to HBCUs during his first administration, selective amnesia. Too much hate wax in their ears. Thank you for the very kind $5 super. Looks, here's Williams. It was a great exposure and a positive experience for the students. Personal feelings aside about the president, we should support our students. And she's talking about Fort Valley, Mississippi Valley State. The Mean Green Marching Machine performed at Trump's inauguration yesterday. And I just said, hey, this is something to celebrate. This is something to make a lot of noise about. A great opportunity for those young men and women. And I'm hoping that they'll continue to do great things. What does Amethyst Angel say with the $5 super? She says, what sane woman would approach any man and question his presence? Just call the cops and report. Let them handle it. Maybe the cops have a history on her. I don't know. That's a great question. I'm just stuck on what you said. What sane woman? Because I guarantee you, Lady Dearwood Christian would never do that. Never would she do what this woman did. Why are you doing that? Thank you so much for the $10 super. Breakfast Gun says, very astute bear versus man analogy. Hey, look, when I have time to think about it, I could come up with some, I can cook sometimes. I could come up with some good ones. I appreciate it. But yeah, I just thought about, like, this is the problem. Like, this is the problem, is that woman saw the man as a threat, not the fact that he was a black man. It just so happened that he was a black man. But just think about it. Would she have done that if, would she have been doing that if it was a white man? Maybe. I think she still would have did it. Would she have done it if it was a white woman? Never. Would she have done it if it was a black woman driving? Not even a little bit. Wouldn't have seen it. They don't see him as a threat. They see men as a threat. That's the problem. And thank you so much for that $10 super. Thank you so much. Is her hubby a he or she? I think she's married to a man. I saw the picture. It's a man. Is she partnered with anyone? Probably not. Cat lady with kids? No, she's married to a real man. He just looks like he was drug into it. He don't look like he was about that life. So it doesn't look like he was gonna come out there, with a shotgun and some tobacco on his jaw. So he just looked like, and he probably, and somebody asked the question, she's probably done this before. I'm gonna go on a limb and say she's probably one of those people. She's always upset about something. She's always sending meals back when you go out to eat. She's I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure she's probably done something akin to this before, because the reason I say that is because the husband didn't seem torqued off. If my wife had come home and told me a story that this woman told, there would be problems. There would be a problem. And I probably would crashed out. I'm just gonna be honest with you. My name's Jason, dearwokec@gmail.com. I'm a work in progress. I probably would have crashed out. Okay. If my wife had been running with my daughters through a community, yelling help, and had to go to some random person's house and calling the cops, there's gonna be a problem. I'm just gonna tell you. The husband didn't do that. Why? Probably because she's done this before. She probably is like that. He probably realized that she done did this before to some degree, shape, or form. And the other reason I think that she's probably done things like this before is the way that the way she told the story of how the husband came to talk to her about stuff. He probably have said, like, hey, the way you turned it up at Target the other day, you probably should tamper it down. Like, hey, let's stop going to Whole Foods acting crazy, okay? Let's stop doing that. So I'm thinking that she's probably done this before to some degree, shape, or form, but never to this magnitude where it's come those chickens have come home to roost. She chose the bear. And now they got this big old grizzly bear sitting in their living room eating them up. And she's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know this was going to happen. Because every other time I've done this, it's not been a problem. Now it's a real problem. That's what I think. Wait, I like the way you said this. There's another man out to attack you again, Michelle. Let me at him. I don't think the husband was. No, she called the cops. The cops just didn't come. When the cops came, she was out with her husband and she saw the cops and flagged them down and said, "Hey, I made a mistake. It was my fault." And the cops never came to verify with the original family, the homeowners. They just took the woman's advice allegedly, and that was it. Because the articles I read didn't show that the police did anything or had any kind of engagement, as far as I can tell. So to me, it seems like that's why I'm shouting out the Ohio police, because I'm like, y'all don't do your jobs very well. This lady should have been. I'm sorry, somebody should have went down to the precinct. Somebody should have got a citation. Somebody should have got called. Um, yeah, she ended up running to a neighbor's house. Yeah, she ended up running to a neighbor's house, which is super. Again, ma- ma'am, mind your own business. Just mind your own business. And if nothing else, I mean, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna give you grace. If you are out by yourself and you're just out there walking, power walking, listening to Taylor Swift, and you see somebody and you see a bear and you want to go choose the bear, that's fine. Go ahead, choose your bear. Choose the bear. Choose the bear. But ma'am, you were with your children. Imagine if that man was violent. And if you go back and watch the video, her younger child is the one that's pushing the ring cam initially. So her child is involved in. What if he meant ill and he was going to and he was a dangerous man. And you got your child up at the doorstep locked in that little corner, and that man come up there and start banging your head on the floor or worse, because you over here queen doing too much. Ma'am, I have no sympathy. And I'm trying to be sympathetic to you, but ma'am, you don't get any sympathy. You had no bit. You put your child in danger. You put your both of your children in danger. Please forgive me. You put yourself in danger. You put that man in danger. You put the family in the house in danger. And let's say, since she's running through the neighborhood yelling like a plumb fool, what if the man was chasing her? And then she goes to another neighbor's house. And what if that man chased her into that house? Now you've put them in danger. And then if your husband, and let's say now the man wasn't chasing you get to your husband and he comes over there and he is a macho man and the guy has a weapon. You done put your husband in danger. All because you doing too much. You chose the bear. Enjoy yourself. There's no reason. There's no reason for any of this. Right. What if a man had opened the door to the house that you were running to? See, you're just doing too much. You're just doing too much. I cannot find sympathy for this because, again, you put people's lives. And again, I don't think it's a lap too far. I don't think it's hyperbole for people to say that you put somebody's life in danger. If nothing else, you put your kid's life in danger. Because if the man is dangerous and you don't walk yourself up to the doorstep, I might pull that. Hold on, I might have to pull that back up so we can see that again. Because again, like, I don't want this to turn into a long discussion, but we'll just do what we're gonna do here today. Is this it? This is it right here.
On the doorbell. Ring doorbell. We need you.
Like, it's the baby that's pushing the doorbell. Your child is pushing the doorbell, and you can see that that's a corner with the house door. So what if that man had just walked up there and blocked you up there and started banging your head on the floor, or did something violent to y'all? That's your fault, ma'am. That's nobody else's fault. There's no, and again, you put the babies in that predicament. Nobody else did it. That man didn't do it. The brother did not put them in that predicament. You did by walking up his walkway, going up to his doorbell, and you ring the doorbell. She's ringing the doorbell.
What's going on?
So if that man had walked up there and been like, again with nefarious purposes, you stuck like Chuck. You chose the bear, ma'am. Do not think that. I'm sorry. I hate that people are giving you that business, but I'm not mad at them. But like this would not have gone good in other parts of you need to be glad you in Ohio. Shout out to Ohio. At least everybody went to bed that night in their own bed. Because I promise you, if this had happened in Southwest Atlanta, somebody would not have been sleeping in their bed that night. You out here just tiptoeing through the tulips, that would not have been the case. So anyway, I'm trying to be. I don't know why this story really bothered me when I saw it, and I felt sorry because I'm like, this guy is out here minding his own business, doing well, trying to raise a family. Like again, they got as a wife and a husband and like 4 kids, and they minding their own business. Why are you worrying about them? I don't believe that you live here, ma'am. I don't care. I don't care. And I think this is a fantastic question, Shar. What would she have said if the Ring cameras had not recorded this? These Ring cameras, man. Look, they might be spying on you, but they don't be lying on you either. Look, I'm just holding out because my neighbors across the street got them. So, but yeah, like, what would have happened if you didn't have that camera footage? And I don't know, but she said she did an Instagram live, 2 Instagram lives immediately that night. What did you say on those? And did it correlate with what we see in this video? I don't know. That's a great question too. I need to ask Marshall the plug. But okay, I'm going to try to get off of this topic. Okay. That's the end. And now we are concluding with bear versus man.